Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu.
This week in our Life Team, we had our second ARC takeover on the Greatest Commandment. We read about the Greatest Commandment in Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 and 5, which states, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might." This is also known as the Shema Yisrael in Hebrew, and is the foundational prayer and declaration of our monotheistic faith. Nearly 600 years later, we hear the same words of Christ in the Gospel of Mark, when a scribe approaches him and asks, "Teacher, which commandment is the first of all?" Jesus answered, "The first is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these." Joseph Wilson delivered his proclaim on the Greatest Commandment and broke it down into 4 parts. To love the Lord with all your mind, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. So loving God with all your mind means exactly what you would think. You want to learn about God and come to know who He is, so you read scripture and other sacred texts to learn about God. Loving God with all your heart is about your desire and your intention to come to know and love God. You want to orient yourself to Him to come into a relationship with Him, to desire Him before everything else. Loving God with all your soul is about your will. We can know God and direct our intentions to Him, but without the will to actually live this out in our daily life, it doesn't amount to much. So we must will to be with God, to love Him and to serve Him. And not only that, our will must harmonize with God so that we can live like Christ teaches us to pray. "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Our will must be one with God's. Loving God with all your strength means actually putting an effort into your relationship with God. Let's take the analogy of a weightlifter. He can look at a squat weight that is beyond his current strength, but because he's unable to lift that weight right now doesn't mean he doesn't try to get there. He's going to follow a specific weightlifting regimen to reach his goal. He's going to stretch and challenge himself so that he can lift the weight that's too heavy for him right now. It's got to be the same in our relationship with God. We've got to stretch and challenge ourselves to love God even when it's not very comfortable for us. We can never say something is too much for our faith. We believe that following the commandments is going to lead to our ultimate freedom and happiness with God in heaven. So yeah, we've got to work on loving God every minute of every day, even when we don't feel like it. This seems like a lot, because it is. God won't settle for anything less than all of us, and we shouldn't settle for anything less than all of God. He is who we are created for. Of course we're going to find our happiness in Him. Unfortunately, our time is very divided, and it's difficult to make time for God today. I mean, between work, school, extracurricular activities, sports, hobbies, and video games, it can be hard to incorporate God into your day. But that's the challenge for us as Catholics. We've got to integrate our faith into our daily lives so that God is actually a part of those things that we're doing. We have to remember that the Catholic faith isn't something we do. The Catholic faith is something we live. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you this Sunday as we wrap up our entire semester on morality by talking about the Beatitudes.